Good people on the quest for good content. I feel like it's been a while since you've seen us queue up an episode. Lots been going on. If we feel like sharing it, we'll share it. But in the meantime, welcome to another installment of Song of the Week here on Good People Content. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Farrow, here with the master of the channel, the creator. Some say the alpha, some say the omega. I say neither because we're not trying to get too religious. Jordan Bell. Jordan, what's up, dog?
It's a beautiful morning. No, I'm doing good, brother. Life is good. Couple big things going on in my life. Found a new job that I'm starting next week here in the greater Cleveland area.
Hey.
Yeah, so excited about that. Excited about Mom, I love you. Thank you so much for everything. Excited to move out of my mother's house, where I've been living for the last 3 or 4 months, which I'm not used to. So
Hey.
yeah, man, things are good. Been listening to good music, been enjoying the weather outside. Excited to go check out some Guardians games downtown Cleveland here in a couple weeks. I'll probably start going to the games. Yeah, man, all is good on the Western Front. How are things in your world?
No real news over on my end. I talk about my music to put pressure on myself so the shit eventually gets done. Man, I've been so busy and tired just trying to keep the primary income as it exists right now stable, steady, and coming in that I really just haven't had much time to do anything except, unfortunately, work, try to exercise, relax when I can because I've been working a lot, and survive till the next day. So it's a little bit disappointing existence right now, but like all things, it ebbs and flows. So I'll be back in the flow state soon enough, but it's just been a weird handful of months, man. Not exactly how I drew it up, but I suppose everybody goes through that version of whatever it is I'm going through right now.
Yeah, it's so interesting since we've started the channel, all three of us, and it's only been a year or so, but all three of us have gone through some really interesting transitions and life events. David, most recently, I think we're safe to talk about it, the birth of his child. It's public knowledge at this point.
David is a father.
So, and he talked about last time he was on, we said that he was gonna have a baby. So yeah, David had a baby. I've gone through a move, a job change. You've also gone through the same, and we've been able to maintain throughout that, but there's been ups and downs and ebbs and flows for all three of us.
Yeah, and the one constant through it all is we've been listening to music. So what you been listening to recently?
Yeah, so on that note, I don't know why, but recently I've just been on a little bit of a Wale kick. He found his way back into my music algorithm recently, and I have been thoroughly enjoying that. I was a big Wale fan for sure. Probably somewhere I was thinking 2008, 9-ish through 2015 was when I probably consumed the most of his music, and enjoyed it the most. He performed at Worcester our freshman year, so you weren't there yet, but he came and performed at Worcester our freshman year, and I remember being super excited to see him play. The show was what it was. He was still kind of doing his college tour vibe. I think he performed at BG the same night. He was in that grind where he was doing 2 shows a night sometimes. But this was right around the what was the song he had with Gucci Mane? Do you remember?
I can't remember. Nope.
I can't remember, but this is right when he started to pop back in 2009. So anyway, to answer your question, my song of the week and what I've been listening to a lot lately is Wale. And my song of the week is Wale and SZA, The Need to Know, off of the album About Nothing. Again, prime Wale, right in that wheelhouse of when he was really, every year or two, he was giving you a solid album. He found his pocket. He found, we argue about mastery. Whether or not you think he had achieved the level of mastery is up to you, up to your opinion, but he had figured out, I think he mastered what worked best for him. He mastered his flow, he found his craft, he found what he was good at and what audiences were going to vibe with. And this song is an example of that. He was really good at intertwining his rhymes with the melodic hooks and melodies of his songs. So this song, The Need to Know with SZA, the hook on this song is an ode to Music Soul Child's I'm not trying to pressure you, just thinking, dun, 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 dun. I'm going to butcher the lyrics. But anyway, it's an ode to that. And again, Wale's verses on this song are really good. His flow is really good. His pace is really good. And man, it's just a fun song. I think it's a good song to listen to in the car, particularly. It came on in the car for me a couple days ago as I was riding. And man, it was just good to cruise and listen to this. So again, my song of the week, Wale and SZA, The Need to Know.
Nice. A little bit nostalgic. That's right in that millennial wheelhouse. We're on
Yeah.
like the semi-younger side of millennials. Kind of brushing up against Gen Z, all things considered, give or take a couple years. So yeah, that's like right in the midst of the blog era. Talked about that way, way, way in the past. Maybe we revisit that topic once upon a time. Maybe we talk about our favorite projects from the blog era, like clearly define what we think those years are, and kind of maybe give our top 3 or top 5 most listened to. Maybe not. I think that'd be a good little crowdsourcing exercise too, to just see which of our viewers remember that era
Just
and some of their standout favorite projects too.
just off the top of your head, who are the names that come to mind first for you when you think blog era rap?
Wiz Khalifa, Wayne, Mac Miller, Dom Kennedy, Black Hippie. Generally, I won't name all 4 of them. And I guess Isaiah Rashad a little bit later on top of that. Let's see, Drake, the whole ASAP crew, Currency, No Name, Saba, Chance, the whole Chicago contingency. So Figments as well. A little bit on like the back half, maybe not right at the front.
Yeah.
Lupe was kind of pre-blog era, but maybe like the first blog era darling. Gucci Mane, obviously, come on. OJ the Juice Man, come on. What are we fucking talking about? Waka Flocka Flame.
So
Who else am I missing?
Yeah, you named a lot of them. For me, and you're better at rattling off names like that than I am. That's why I asked you. For me, the first 2 names that come to mind are like Cuddy, Wiz,
Oh yeah,
and
Cuddy.
Currency. And no prep on this. You brought this up, and I think this is actually a pretty fun topic. One, I don't know if this is my favorite, but if I were to pick one project right now to put in the top 5, Flight School by Wiz Khalifa, 2009.
Classic mixtape.
That's one of my favorites, man. Mr. Right After Now, Boarding Pass, Get Some,
Never
Teach You How to
Ever.
Fly, Kleenex featuring Chevy Woods,
Damn, Chevy. Wow. Cool.
Extra Credit. This was around the time.
Is that Never Ever? Is Never Ever on there too, if I remember?
No, it is not on that one.
Okay.
Never Ever might be on Deal or No Deal, maybe.
Okay.
But no, that's around the time. There's that freestyle that once every 6 months just circulates through the internet again of Wiz. Oh man, I'm not gonna butcher it, but there's a freestyle where he's wearing the
Red
Washington,
baseball cap.
yeah, the red baseball cap and the
He's
crew necks
rolling.
that they used to rock. Yep, and he's rolling up, and
It's a really
that's a
simple
classic.
freestyle. Yeah.
but it's a banger, right?
Yeah, it's just he did what he had to do to make it memorable.
Yeah.
And it still circulates to this day because he's like that. Actually, that's a whole different segue that I don't want to pivot into because it'll make the video longer than we intended to. But he's a really good, long, complicated hook writer. That's like a totally niche. That's a totally niche topic. I was thinking about that when I was freestyling, going on my little morning walks, and he's like really good at making a complex hook that's like not super redundant. I think people would think of Black and Yellow and some of those other super bangers that he had that are more on the redundant side. But he's really good at verbose hooks that you don't always know where they're going to go and keeping the tonality of his delivery the same to create that sonic hook effect as opposed to the words. Topic for another time, though.
Where does Wiz, I don't know if rank. No, I'm not
talking about rankings. Okay.
No. I'm not asking you to rank him. I'm just saying, like, where does he fit in the world of hip hop giants who reached the heights that he reached, man? Because he was huge.
Yeah, he was big time. He was big time for a medium long time. That's how I'll say it. I feel like for like 6-7 years in hip hop, since it's only about 52, 53 years old, maybe. I feel like if you've had a really dominant run for 10% of that time, we'll say 5 years, that to me is like pretty long time. So anything over that was like really saying something. I feel like he had a 6-7 year run from like maybe 2000, we'll say 11 to about 2017, where he was part of like the mainstream conversation. I don't think he was ever considered the best rapper. I don't think he was ever considered the best hook maker or the best lyricist or, the best hook writer or the best album creator or the best project maker. But somehow he just always had a song in or near the top of the charts for a long time, man. He just did it. He's got that thing. Yeah.
He had the song that became kind of the theme song when Kobe passed away from the Fast and Furious movie. Yep. Yeah, he had huge songs. Now I'm just like scrolling through his discography. I remember the day that Cushion Orange Juice came out.
Classic tape.
Were you still in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's my freshman year then of college. I just remember I can't remember a more anticipated mixtape drop ever in my life. And I remember, like, if I remember correctly, it shut down the Wi-Fi on campus for a good 30 minutes because everybody tried to, this is back in the day when, hey, the mixtape's dropping Tuesday at noon and you just have to wait. And the link is up on live mixtapes, but you can't actually access the link until it's supposed to drop. And I remember it shutting down the Wi-Fi for like 30 minutes because everybody tried to download this mixtape at the same time. Yeah, I mean that was maybe his peak. Like that was when he might have had the most pull he's ever had in his career, and he's had an incredible career since that mixtapes dropped.
Yeah, man. What a cool pivot to talk about Wiz Khalifa, just because I have such an appreciation for him, even though he might not necessarily be somebody that I think about often from a musical perspective. He's actually been kind of creeping into my mental real estate a little bit more and more. You got to remember, for perspective on that story Jordan just shared, we went to a small school in Ohio with a lot of kids from Pennsylvania as well. So that
Good
only
point.
magnified the love. So if you take those small schools kind of multiplied across Ohio and Pennsylvania, it probably makes sense why there were connectivity issues probably across multiple states at that time, waiting for Cushion Orange Juice to drop. Yeah, I don't know. Well, he was the first person I named when you asked me to name artists who I thought of when I think about the blog era, because he's like batting leadoff in that sense to me. He's the first person I always think of with the blog era tapes. Man, Cushion Orange Juice is at the tip top of best projects from that period of time, in my opinion.
I'm also looking at this again. I'm just in his discography now. So he dropped Deal or No Deal on November 24th, 2009. So
Wow.
that would have been Thanksgiving.
It's my junior year of high school.
Yeah, so that's Thanksgiving, my freshman year of college, and he performed at the Grog Shop, like literally a mile and a half from my house right now. He performed at the Grog Shop that night, and me and my boys, we all went to go see the show that night on Thanksgiving. Like he performed at, it was like it's one of these kind of dingy club scene type deals.
Perfect fucking venue.
Yeah, and he performed there at like midnight on Thanksgiving, and we all went to go see him.
Cool shit, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wiz, I hope you see this.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a real appreciation for the contribution you made, man. It's pretty cool stuff. Also, I do think he has like a couple, I have one in particular song that I think, and a lot of people would disagree with me on this, I think is a perfect song. I think The Race is a perfect song. I don't know what it is about that song in particular that just connects on every aspect of a song for me personally. Man, but I love that joint. That shit is, and I don't even think that's my favorite Wiz Khalifa song. I think Never Ever probably is, but The Race to me is like a perfect song. I don't know what it is about with that joint. Maybe we break it down one of these days, but who can say for sure?
He's got bangers, man. He's got bangers. I'm looking extra credit off this Flight School album. Anyway, enough Wiz. We got lost in the Wiz stuff. What have you been listening to?
At least we were talking about music. Sometimes we go the other way, but
For sure.
What have I been listening to? A bunch of, I would say, in the cut stuff that maybe don't always come to mind. Smith Connection, Under My Wings, Full Force, Ain't My Type of Hype by Full Force from the Key and Peele, or not Key and Peele, Kid and Play, generational slip. That was crazy. Let's see. SOS Band Still, Spargo, American Gypsy, The Jacksons, a little bit of Drake actually recently, mixtape Drake. Let's see. Layla Hathaway, Candy Staten, High Five for a little New Jack feel. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the map again, per usual. A little bit of French Montana, because fuck it.
Montana!
Yeah. So that leads me naturally to my song of the week, which is a 2025 joint. I think late 25. That's probably why I got the year confused. A song called When You're Here by Cafe Canela. A really borderline melancholic, dreary love song that somehow chills you out It really lowers your heart rate to like the lowest BPM you could go and really makes you process and think about some of those more subtle moments of love. I think one of the lyrics that stands out, it's very simple, but sunshine fills up the room when I'm with you, I think is the line. Very simple, very easily communicated, and has this almost like vinyl record filter on it where you can almost hear kind of the hisses and the pops from this record. And maybe the song is older than I think it is, and I'm just reading the information I have about it, about it being a relatively recent release. But there's like a Billie Holiday-esque vocal quality to it, where Billie Holiday basically is very famous for her delivery and her voice, but she didn't really have a super expansive range. And so this artist kind of stays in this one key or one tonality for a long time throughout the song. Not a lot of vocal elasticity going up and down the register of the scale, but I think that really contributes to the fact that this pace of the song really just brings you back down to ground zero and really makes you deliberately think about some of those aspects of romance and those feelings that you often want to feel when you have strong affection towards somebody. When You're Here, single from 2025 by Cafe Canela. Really cool lower paced joint. I've been listening to a little bit more high paced music recently, but that's a cut that's made its way into my rotation. Happy accident how I found it. I actually don't remember how I found it, but you know me. I just kind of stumble upon cool shit by accident.
Love it. Slowing down the BPMs again. I was playing around with some R&B stuff, and the song that I picked isn't a fast song, but I was playing around with some R&B stuff too for some potential songs of the week, but I wanted to show a little love to Wale, but I love it, man. I love it. That's a great pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all have to give it a listen. If you know the artist, you know of the artist, let them know we gave them a little bit of shine. Maybe they'll want to talk to us. Who knows? I think we're still hovering right below 10K, so we got to figure out the formula to finally eclipse the Jordan. I know we've
That's
got
right.
a little.
We're almost at
away.
1,000 watch hours, which is nice.
Hey,
But yeah,
time y'all can never get back. Thanks for watching.
amen. Exactly. Thank you to everybody for watching. For sure, man. Those great picks. Great picks. Before we go, I want to encourage everybody. The Michael Jackson movie is coming out soon. And I don't know this for sure, but I think we have a lot of followers that are younger that probably don't have like the proper appreciation for Michael. And I'm not being paid to endorse this movie. I just think that I think it has the potential to be a cool cultural moment. We've talked about this 100 times now on this podcast, but like Michael Jackson was the most famous person ever. And that came with a lot of highs and a lot of lows and everything in between. And I think his story is really interesting. And I think people should go see that movie. Like, I think a lot of these biopics are important movies. Like, I just recently watched the Bohemian Rhapsody one about Queen, like a band that I'm not super familiar with. I know their music, obviously, but I didn't know much about their story. And I think it's important for people to go see these stories about these people that have reached these highs that the world allows people to reach and how it can be really damaging to a lot of people. So I know that movie's coming out pretty soon, and I think people should go see it.
Fun fact about the Queen movie, Queen never broke up. Don't let the Hollywood propaganda and the need for conflict in a story deter you from what actually happened. So it's a cool movie. Don't get me wrong. Rami Malek is a cool, very gifted actor, but you know me. I always be throwing in my little gyms and jabs, whatever you want to call them. Queen never broke up. Never forget.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It should, like, you should also do your own research on these people. We've talked about this now before. Read some books, like get an understanding of what's going on and what's happening in the world. I'll say this and then we can get out of here. But it's funny. My mom just went to there's a film festival here in Cleveland, and she just went and watched this documentary. And she came home, and it was some type of philosophical documentary on the education system. And my mom has worked in education her entire life. So she comes home yesterday, and she's livid because this movie just was spewing falsities the entire time, and the research was poorly done. And yeah, like, I think, talking about that movie and the Bohemian Rhapsody movie and whatever else, read a book, people. Get an understanding of what's actually going on in the world around you.
Yeah, I mean, my 2 cents on that is reading, diversity with where you get your info from. It's not a new concept. It's actually how you build wealth, a diversified portfolio. So if it makes you money, it probably makes you smarter too. So different water sources to keep you hydrated. All that to say, Shout out to Queen, shout out to Wale, shout out to Wiz Khalifa, shout out to Cafe Canela, and shout out to the blog era, because at some point we're going to talk about it again. Because, we're millennials, boo on us, boo on us. I know we're lame as fuck. But all that to say, as usual, thank you very much for tuning into another installment of Song of the Week here on Good People Content. As always, one of your co-hosts, Bill Farrell, led fearlessly by the Jordan Bell. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the time. All the usual interaction asks that we have, like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.